please like and subscribe.
All right. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So, as we mentioned earlier, not a lot of exciting stuff going on in the crypto world, but something a little bit near and dear to me, I had to put down as the good. So, Croswap, which we've talked about a ton, was on the Kronos network, is now called Diamond Swap. And guess what network they're going to be on?
Ethereum.
Yeah, and BSC.
Oh, and both.
Yeah. So they are moving. They have shut down actually where they're at right now for anybody that doesn't know or is not invested, or maybe you are invested, you're not sure what's going on. They have shut down all the pools, all the farms, all the things that went with their CrowSwap. And what they're doing is they're putting that in everyone's wallet. They're giving everybody the rewards right now. Everyone is to hold as they take snapshots, and then they're going to start moving or take that snapshot, and then when everything gets to where it needs to be, they're going to drop tokens, the native token in the new swap. So I'm looking forward to this because from what they've said on their Discord, part of the problem with what they had going on was that CrowSwap wasn't, or not CrowSwap, but the Kronos network was not being real cooperative with a lot of things they were trying to do. And there was very little volume going on because people were having to bridge everything, and it was just kind of a nightmare. And we've told everybody 1,000 times, at least Caleb and Greg and I have, that this is our favorite swap. And they said, why not go head to head with PancakeSwap? So I'm looking forward to this. Now, when it's going to happen, I don't know, but the tone of Discord makes it sound like it's going to be sooner than later. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty excited about it. And then
Well,
go ahead.
I did see Hank tweeting out some stuff about Diamond Swap. Is that what it's called? And I was like, well, what is this? So I started looking into it, and I only saw the Ethereum side. I didn't see that they were launching on BSC too. I thought just Ethereum. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think what's going to be really cool about it too, because they have, kind of like when we talked about Vitreous last week, they also have a bunch of nodes and things like that. And part of the reason why I asked her how many nodes can you buy is because their rule was 100 per wallet. And so the big question was, what are you going to do with all the nodes that are on the Kronos network? And they haven't figured that out yet, but they did say when they do, it'll be a 1-for-1 swap. So I personally, who have a lot of nodes, am excited to see how that all goes down. And I feel like this is how it's going to jumpstart. And I think they'll be in a very good position whenever the bear market finally ends. So that had to be the good for me. So
yeah, I agree. That's a good one. Yeah.
The bad. So this is where we're going to get into a little bit about where we're at with our 4 little boxes, and Greg not being here, sort of. That's going to become more in Cryptic Corner. But, excuse me. So over 68 episodes, we had a studio, and we paid for that studio, and we had to move studios and all this stuff. And finally, we were like, you know what? It's time to not have any more out-of-pocket expense. We don't want the quality to suffer necessarily or anything like that, but we aren't looking to throw hundreds of dollars a month. It's just a space. Like, I'm okay with putting money into the podcast and buying equipment and stuff like that, but we just kind of finally got to the point where we can't do that. So we were hoping to already be monetized by this point. That didn't happen, and that's fine. But at some point, we had to be smart, and we had to be able to figure out where to cut some costs. And so the studio was that. So the good side of the bad of the ugly might be that now you might get to see a little bit more of our personalities come through in our backgrounds, kind of like Holly. Caleb's got a lot of little knickknacks on his shelf. As you can see, I'm a movie nut, and got some sports movie posters up there, and my Christmas story lamp that's back there. So, but just part of kind of turning things to where it makes more sense, because real life, that one commodity that none of us get any more of also is time. And with it being able to be in our homes, then we're able to spend more time with our family and other extracurricular activities. So that's kind of where we're at, and it's not really bad. It's just that with all the sideways movement in the market, I kind of thought this might be a good time to tell people why things look different. So
Yeah.
Okay.
that's where we're at.
That river right here.
Is that River that was barking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So River's tried to transition to being a farm dog to being a city dog. Well, not really a city, but a small town dog. And he's not a big fan. So it's every time I go over there, he like looks at me and like, "Are you going to take me for a ride and take me back to the farm?" But River also is a little bit older, so I think small town life may be good for him. But we'll see.
Yeah. Yep.
So the ugly. I think this one's super obvious, and I think maybe everybody can get behind this. At least I think 3 out of the 4 of us can get behind this. But the ugly's got to be Dragon. So Dragon is just this dude that just shows up, and he kind of mooches kills and still steals kills on Fortnite from me all the time.
Oh my!
And he's always trying to bust me on poker, and he's just kind of my arch nemesis. And so I can't think of anything better than Dragon as being the ugly. Do you have a defense for your actions, Dragon?
So I remember this one time.
Uh-oh.
On Fortnite.
Uh-oh. Oh, I know what he's gonna say. Oh, go ahead.
Josh was driving around in a truck, getting shot up by multiple people, and he eventually ended up getting away. And so he jumped out, and he jumped out with the truck moving, and he jumped out in front of the truck, and the truck ran him over.
It killed me. So it was. Yeah, so it was an epic fight, and Dragon went down. I think you were down, right, Dragon? Because you went down, and you were like, just run. And I'm like, okay, and I got to this truck. I had like 14 health, and I get out of there. Truck's on fire, and I'm thinking, but got away from everybody. And so there was only going to be like me versus one other team because everybody had converged on this one area. And so I think there was a chest or a health pot or something. So I just instinctively exited the vehicle and it ran over me, and we got like third. I just died. So
man.
No.
When are you guys all 3 gonna play together and video it?
We need to. We really need to. Yeah.
So that's the second part of the ugly, actually, Caleb. So good call is that we have not played, the 3 of us together.
No, I've only played with Josh, and then I've played separately with Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so ugly.
You weren't available that day when I played with Dragon because we tried to get you, and you're like, "I'm."
That's true. I wasn't even home. So I think here, right on the podcast, we set a date for Sunday night at, let's go 7:30 your guys' time.
That works.
Yeah, perfect.
All right.
All right, I'm on my calendar right now.
Pinky swear.
Let's get some 5-year-olds.
Yeah, we'll go kill some 5-year-olds. Better edit that out. But in all seriousness, though, I feel like we've met a lot of cool people in this space. But when it comes to like actually getting to know them, like outside of Twitter, Dragon, I know that I give you a hard time about everything, but for real, like you are one of the most genuine people I think I've ever met on this space. And that does spill over to us playing video games together and playing poker together. And we have never met in real life, but I have a feeling someday that's going to happen too. But you are one of those guys that I think that we can truly call a friend. And I don't mean that in any disrespect to anybody else we've ever had on here, but I'm not sure there's anybody that's ever been on the podcast that I've spent more real life time with, even though it's still over the internet. So don't let your kids get jealous, Dragon, all right?
I'm Caleb. Please like and subscribe.